The house smelled of roast chicken and stale tension. Plates clinked softly against the table, but laughter felt hollow, rehearsed. Sat at the head, hands folded, observing faces he knew too well and too little. His son smiled at a joke he hadn't heard. His daughter-in-law stirred her water, eyes flicking toward him briefly, once, then away. It was almost imperceptible, the tilt of her hand, the way she lingered near the bread basket. But when the note appeared, folded neatly between courses, he froze. "Pretend you're sick. Leave right now." The letters were tiny, deliberate. He stared at her, trying to read her expression, but her face remained calm, almost neutral. Confusion bloomed inside him, twisting against the faint, habitual trust he'd always carried. His first thought was skepticism. Why? But the hesitation was brief. Somewhere beneath the cautious part of him, the part that had lived through small betrayals, dismissals, quiet humiliations, he recognized an opportunity. Not revenge, not bravado, just an opening. So he left. The front door closed with a muted click behind him. Outside, the chill bit at his face. He had barely taken 10 steps down the walkway when the sound of sirens split the night, urgent and precise. Flashing, blue lights reflected off the windows he had just left, and, for the first time in years, he felt the tide shift beneath him. 2 uniformed officers stepped out of a car parked at the curb, their presence precise, authoritative. "Sir," one said, "we need to speak with everyone inside about an urgent matter." The narrative of his family, the one he had silently tried to control for years, fractured in that instant. Conversations halted mid-laugh, forks hovered above plates. He watched through the window, his heart both racing and strangely calm, as the authority entered and immediately assumed control. From the curb, he observed everything with a painful clarity. His son's confident smile faltered. His daughter-in-law's gaze, the same one that had handed him the note, remained composed but carried a new weight. Secrets, unspoken grievances, old manipulations, they all began to surface under the unmistakable influence of the uniformed authority. He felt a strange combination of relief and sadness. Relief that the tension had found a tangible, unarguable arbiter. Sadness that it took an external force to accomplish what he could not himself. His dignity, long eroded by subtle dismissals and overlooked moments, returned quietly, almost invisibly. He wasn't celebrated. No one came to praise him. But for the first time in years, he was neither the pawn nor the overlooked observer. Officers led family members one by one to clarify details, questions, explanations. He leaned against the car, chest tight, thinking about trust, about what it meant to hand over control and have it exercised correctly, calmly, without malice. He thought about the note, the quiet instruction, and the delicate gamble it represented. 10 minutes had changed everything. Not by force, not by argument, but by timing, precision, and willingness to act on faith. He had left the house with nothing but confusion and a folded note. He returned with perspective and quiet dignity, though the fractures within the family remained visible, raw, unresolved. When the officers finished and the house grew silent again, did not enter immediately. He stood outside, letting the night air settle in his lungs, letting the uncertainty and consequences hang, tangible and unshakable. The family was still inside, their world altered, subtly but irrevocably. They would speak later, but for now, he let the silence carry the lesson. Hope existed, but it was measured, mixed with consequence. Trust could be rebuilt, but only slowly, carefully, with awareness. The note had been simple, a whisper in the middle of orchestrated chaos, but it had been enough for the first time in years, he allowed himself to imagine a future where influence was earned, respect quietly restored, and his role was no longer that of a powerless observer. He stepped away from the house, hands in his pockets, the night quiet except for the lingering echo of authority, justice, and subtle truth. The note had asked him to act. He had. That act, small and measured, had changed everything.